Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Diaz.
And I'm Scott.
And we're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. This is where the music goes.
Okay, complete tangent before we even dive in. So I was at a bar over the weekend, and I haven't been to a clubby drunk bar in a long time.
It sounds exhausting. For me, just even thinking about possibly going to one is exhausting.
I know she's not even going to listen to this, but the whole time I'm just I just want to go home to my girlfriend right now. That's all I want to do. I know. I just felt too old, but I was sitting there with my buddy and just going. Every time one of so many songs we liked were coming on, and I was just this song's 22 years old, right? These songs are older than the patrons that go to this bar, but we're at a college-ish bar.
Yeah.
And so it's just do teens not have party music now? What's going on? Why are millennials party music still dominating when we go to a bar?
Maybe the millennials are the ones in charge of the music, or was it pick your own music?
Could be. All the bartenders were pretty young.
I mean, I'll just point it out. Whenever we were going out to, I guess around that age, had some fucking bangers, dude. That was good music. That's all it was.
I know, but I remember going out when I was, in my 20s, going out to bars. It was music that was kind of current. It felt like so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember Duran Duran coming on when I was at a college party.
I don't know, man. All right, if you're let's see, if you're under the age of 30 or 20, let's say if you're under the age of 27 and you listen to this podcast, tell us, why do you like our music so dang much?
If you're under the age of 37, please explain why you're listening to a podcast.
Listen, I got ripped so hard this past week about just being an old fart. And that's because we're going to talk about, first of all, this episode is brought to you by Electromotive Sound Co. and listeners like you. Go to patreon.com/theeffectsloop if you want to support the show, and go to Electromotive Sound Co. or electromotivesound.com if you want to buy cool pedals. All right, there's the sponsor part. But anywho, we're going to go into what's new. So Diaz,
I think you've had a very long what's new.
I've had a very interesting.
You've had some journeys because you had a what's new for all of 10 minutes at one point too. So
yeah, thanks. Anywho,
it's been a journey, man. Tell us the journey.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the easy thing. So I got a Silver Sky SE, which I've had it since January 7th, and we haven't done an episode since then for me to talk about. So I did get so I bought it January 7th, and it was in Guitar Center. It was the last day for the ticket for the sale price,
which was ridiculous,
which was $679 or something like that, right?
Great guitar for that price.
Amazing guitar.
And this is old fart me here who's I still remember the American Standard Strat was $700 at one point during my childhood.
Right.
And I think $650 for a Silver Sky SE is actually a good deal.
Yep. They had what I wanted, which was I wanted a maple fretboard because I have my MJT, which has the rosewood or the ebony fretboard, so I've got that. And then it had it in the gray color, which was I love the look of it. And it was just kind of, it was the last one on the shelf. It was the last day of it. I looked at Elise and Elise wanted me to get one for a while. That was because she likes the guitar and she's got a problem buying guitars too, apparently.
Yeah, apparently your gas has infected Elise.
Apparently it is transmitted. But anyways, yeah, so we ended up getting it. I got
use protection, kids. You don't want that infection traveling around your entire household.
I know, that's right. But I'm going home. So I ended up getting that. They didn't have the gig bag, so I actually got an upgraded hard case, which was pretty cool
that's pretty cool because you're a hard case guy.
I am a hard case guy.
The gig bag's pretty decent.
No. I wasn't. It wasn't one of those. I was super excited. I felt it was a little bit of an upgrade, but not an amazing upgrade. But still, it was a pretty decent upgrade. Yeah. Seeing as I got that, I got that case thrown in for free, and it was like $100 case.
Yeah, like a Roadrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Like it's an amazing case. And because I was talking with my buddy who is the worship director at the church, he's like, "Dude, you use it for church?" He's like, "Just use the tax exempt." He's like, "That's the only thing you're going to use it for." I was like, "Well, technically, yeah." So I didn't have to pay taxes on it. So it was a church purchase. But so I got that, strings and a strap all out the door for like $700.
Nice. So
I did good there. And then this is the journey that I've gone through with gear. So I had the LT. I've had that for a little bit. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I was content with it. I wasn't extremely happy. I wasn't over thrilled, but I didn't hate it.
You were getting the job done.
Right. It was doing a good job, and I sounded pretty decent. And it was actually really good for church because a lot of us used like the
that's Rachel.
She scared me because I was looking around for Elise because I just heard a voice, and it sounded so clear. I'm loving this so much.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, you look so pretty.
Tell Rachel I said she looks wonderful.
Diaz says you look wonderful.
Oh my god. I just fell in love with her. She's one of my favorite people. She is so wonderful. Oh my gosh. I've got
so I might have said Rachel's dramatic a day or two ago, and let's just say she's been punishing me with that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like Rachel and I should become text buddies because we. Oh my gosh! All right, tell her that made me smile very much.
And she gave me a stare down, and I just looked at her like this because I can't have facial expressions for like 4 hours.
We're like in the beginning of the episode right now.
Oh, you just started?
Yes, we did.
Hi, Diaz.
Diaz says he's in love with you and wants to start a text message chain with you now.
Oh my god, I would love that. Did you show Diaz my...
I've not, no.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you... Diaz, also, I can't hear you. I know you're there, but... Oh, this is my serum for my face. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I can't take it out. It's a sample.
Okay.
Not a sample. Anyway, your ice idea for the Stanley. I know you can't hear me, but I don't know how I feel about it.
She doesn't know how she feels about it?
She doesn't know how she feels about it, man.
The Stanley is equipped to do all the things.
So, yeah.
Right.
The Stanley is already a homogeneous temperature throughout. You don't really need to shove ice down in it to really transfer heat.
Okay. Well, okay.
But there is, in your defense, there is an entire market for Stanley accessories that are completely unnecessary.
Right. And so that was kind
people
of
are convinced they should buy.
See? Okay, so we're going to fill everyone in whenever Rachel gets distracted.
Will buy it.
Yeah, basic woman.
It'd be different from everyone else.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is the big thing is you could do different colors, designs. Like you could make like a CD, one that looks like a CD, like something cool. You know what I mean? And that's the stuff that they'll buy. It's just the random stuff they don't need.
Yeah, it's the random stuff you don't need. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anywho, so let everyone know. So yesterday,
yes,
I had a very distracted idea. Let's say, but influenced idea of I was drinking a drink and I prefer the ice cold drink, which is always near the top. So I have to pull the straw out and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I wish I had something that just kept the ice towards the bottom so I could keep the straw at the bottom. And then I came up, I was like, well, what if you had like a metal disc or something that like held the ice down that weighed a lot and you could put the straw through the middle of it, kind of like a big washer. And Rachel's still going.
And Tia's is telling the story right now of how he came up with the drink.
Well, I can't hear him.
I can hook up headphones for you.
Oh, well, did it where it was like an out loud thing, and I could hear last time.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah, because I can't.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a slight echo today. All right, there we go.
Put anything on.
Yeah, it's not bad whenever you have the slight echo. Like I don't hear it that much.
No?
No. All right. Anyways, so the idea came from. Hi, Rachel.
Ooh.
So the idea came from So I was drinking, but I was drinking out of a styrofoam cup. So once again, I only said Stanley cups because I know that's the hot white girl thing. So I like my drink to be extremely cold. So I have to pull the straw towards the top where the ice floats to get the really cold drink. And I was like, oh, I wish there was something that just kept the ice at the bottom so I keep my straw pushed all the way in and everything was where it's supposed to be. And so that's where I came up with like almost like a giant washer that has a circle in the middle.
But like also like
I don't know if it has to be for Stanley specific. I'm just saying in general, like it'd be cool to have. You could come up with like different sizes and it could work on almost anything, you know?
So Rachel has perfected the art of, she loves her iced coffees with cream and sugar in them. So, but those things separate if you sit too long.
Yeah.
So she has perfected the art of just kind of doing like, it's not quite like, you know how like a wine glass, people aerate their wine. It's like that, but with iced coffee and the ice kind of, yeah. And so if you ever want to wake her up from a nap and she's in a really happy mood, you just get an iced coffee and you go, and she'll be like, huh? Did you get Dunkin'?
yeah, works every time.
Have you gotten the Dunking?
The Dunking. I think, is that the new thing where they put,
Yeah, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. They put the donut
but it's
hole-
like 3 donut holes on the straw.
or munchkins, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Oh, Diaz, did you like the shirt I made Scott?
I didn't. Did I see it?
Oh gosh. Yeah, well, I'll send you a pic.
Please.
How could you not show him the shirt of all shirts?
Do I have a picture of me in it? Probably not. All right. Well, like,
Because you're like embarrassed.
okay. Well, I'm going to just start the group text now.
He is not embarrassed. He is
Embarrassed of our love.
not even close.
Like,
She missed the first part of the episode of the.
She
She
did.
missed the pre-ep.
did he see it?
No, but you can text it in that thread. She's going to text you a photo of it. All right. So,
Okay.
so you let's dial this back, get this episode back on track. So you saw the Helix. You were getting
Okay.
by with the
Okay.
Helix. It was fine.
Okay, so I was using the Helix LT. It was fine. I was like, but there was that little bit of that itch that I'm like, okay, I want something different. And then I was talking with my buddy who was, he was like, I'm thinking about getting rid of this quad cortex, and I was like, oh, dude. I was like, man. I said, I wish I could trade you for it. And then he's like, well, I really want your MJT. And I was like, well. He's like, well, he needed an interface, or he needed something to play with. So he couldn't get rid of the quad cortex and just take my MJT. So I was like, well, so he traded me his quad cortex and his Silver Sky SE Rosewood for my MJT and Helix LT, which was a pretty decent trade. I mean, kind of, it worked out. But me being the genius I am, I wasn't really sure actually about the trade at first. I was like, man, I'm not 100%. So I said, well, listen, we'll take them for the weekend. If we don't like them, we'll trade back. Like any person can pull the ripcord. And of course, he had it for like an hour and was like, oh, I want the quad cortex back. And I was like, son of a biscuit eater. Of course, I had to just totally screw myself over with that. So I had a quad cortex for about an hour. So
And
that
you
was
liked
fun.
it.
I did. I do like the quad cortex. I really do. I enjoy it quite thoroughly. I like the user interface. I love the sound of it. It's an amazing unit. I don't think you'll ever hear me talk any negative about the quad cortex. And so we traded back. I played a service with LT again. I was like, okay, I'm still content with it. And then I get scrolling on Marketplace and Craigslist, and I'm like, oh, what's going on out in the gear world? And this guy has a Kemper stage up for sale for $11.50. I was like, well, that's pretty decent.
That's a good price for a stage.
That's a really good price.
It's like
And then he
300
put-
below what I would put a stage at right now, right? Or
Yeah.
am I way off in my brain?
Okay, listen, honestly, right now, for some reason, in East Tennessee, there's a Helix floor, full Helix floor, $860 online on Craigslist, hasn't moved.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on. There's a lot. It's right now, it's dry because people aren't getting their tax. When the tax money rolls in, it's going to hit. But right now, it's just where it's at. People have been paying their taxes, and no one's gotten their returns yet.
It's a buyer's market for probably about another month.
You've got if you're lucky, I honestly say you got maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Once you get into March, you're definitely, it's going to be just kind of crazy. People are going to start buying like crazy.
I mean, I've listed some high ticket items with the intention that it's that season. It's final time to list them. Right.
Yeah, you just listed Tribute, didn't you?
Yeah, my well, we'll get to me in a minute here.
Yeah. Okay, more about me. But yeah. So, anyways, that didn't work. We're looking around. This guy's got the stage. You said looking to trade for pedals or guitars. And I was like, well. So I texted him. I was like, hey, would you be interested in a Helix LT? And he responded back. He's like, yeah, actually, I would be. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I also added the Squire 40th anniversary Strat I had. I bought that from Blake straight up. So I literally played it like twice. Pretty much he had it for sale, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty decent price. I'll buy it from you. Didn't really need it. So I ended up trading the LT and the Squire for the stage. So now I think I am $535 into the stage.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit more with like shipping on the whatever the shipping was for the LT to get to California, and that's it. No, I didn't pay for shipping. They sent me a label. Yeah, $535. That's where I'm at.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. But that's also a slow roll. That's been
the best kind. Like, yeah, right. We look at the monetary value, but like, how do you put a price on having something that works and using it for a while? So like the wear and tear as well. And just like always being in a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm like so excited. So this Sunday I got to play with the stage. I ended up snagging up 2 expression pedals because that's the route I'm going to go, is just the stage and expression pedals. Because honestly,
volume pedals get scratchy, expression pedals don't.
Yeah, and even then, I want to be able to use it where, because I have the volume set up to be after the amp stack, so that way, whenever I do swells and stuff, I'm not just changing gain so. It's been great. It was an awesome Sunday. The using an iPad to adjust stuff on it is amazing.
Amazing?
It's absolutely amazing.
Okay.
Literally,
I was going to say you had it with like next to no time to set it up, I guess. So like,
there was a Worship Tutorials Tone King Imperial performance already in there. So I ran with that. I got to the church. I had the iPad. We just did a quick. Pretty much, we were playing. I was listening. I just did a high cut and saved. Boom, good. Like legit it was phenomenal. So I feel like I'm back home. So you said that the logical thing is for me to end up with a quad cortex, probably going to happen at some point. But honestly, right now the stage totally scratched that itch. And I think a lot of it, what it came down to, and this is what I've told a lot of people, is the Helix is great for people who are wanting to do a lot with effects and chain routing and just dialing and all this stuff. And while yes, the Kemper, does require some dialing in and everything, it's a lot simpler when it comes to that.
Well, so the beautiful thing about the Kemper is it is like 11 years old.
Right.
It is so mature in its platform. It already has so much on it.
Well, the Helix is pretty old too.
I mean, Helix is technically the oldest platform of all of them. Yeah. If you think like, oh yeah, they've been working on this stuff since the 90s.
Right. But yeah, the thing is that it was just, I had the added benefit of I used to have a toaster. So it was once
you already know it too.
Once I started digging in, it was like, oh, okay, yeah. But the cool thing was finding out all the shit that's added. And like what the beat scanner? Like, what the heck? That's freaking cool.
Well,
Okay,
so my favorite thing about the about the Quad Cortex, there's so many and they're just mixing up in my brain. My favorite thing with the Kemper, and the Quad Cortex needs this feature, is not that it needs new effects, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, new effects will be great. More reverbs, more delays, yada, yada, yada. Great. I'll love them and I'll enjoy them. But what the Kemper has is presets per effect.
Mm-hmm.
And you can store them in a library and pull them up at willy-nilly. And so
Helix can do that too.
So you can be like, all right, here's my quarter note delay, here's my eighth note delay, here's my dual delay, here's my blah, 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 blah. And they can all use the same engine, but they're presets for the different sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anyone else does that.
Saving a preset for
an individual effect, not like a whole layout
Helix
thing.
does. Yeah.
Helix does that?
Yep. So like Andrew sent me, there's like a filter that it's just called I Don't Trust Myself.
Just gives you this, just turns up your reverb and turns down your treble.
No. No. I mean, it actually does like the Qtron thing.
Oh, cool.
So, but like, yeah, so Helix does that as well. You can save a preset effect. But there's a lot of stuff with that the Kemper was doing. But there's like small stuff that I'm finding out that, so, with I'm sure it works on the Kemper as well, but I doubt you really used any expression with your Kemper. If I use my expression pedal as a volume pedal and I go all the way and so I've just got a volume, as soon as I go all the way to the heel position, it goes straight into tuner.
Well, I mean, technically the tuner is always on a Kemper.
Yes, but it brings up the display.
Yeah, it brings up the strobe on the display. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does that. So I thought that was really coul. That was just like a small random thing that ooh.
The other nice thing about the Kemper, and I mean, this wasn't on our list because we kind of skipped through all the NAMM stuff, but at NAMM they released new effects. They added a harmonic tremolo to it. They added some other stuff too.
And that's the thing with the Kemper. It was, everyone's talked about that. Christoph Kemper has enough foresight that he built with room to grow, and that was a good thing. So that's one reason why I was happy to get to the stage, because I know I'll be set there for a while. And the good thing about the Quad Cortex is it's out of its infancy, and it's really kind of moving forward. I'm sure it's got a little bit of room to, I'm sure it's got a lot of room to grow. But it's in a good spot right now too, because I got to play one again the other day, and it's a really fantastic machine. But the whole thing is this with the Kemper. I mean, it helps me keep it simple as well, and lets me be able to focus on just playing. Well,
and this is why I told you to stay just like when you were talking about, I'm going to build a board around this. I was like, don't add pedals, dude.
Well, no, you didn't understand. I meant, I was just talking about how I was going to use my expressions.
Yeah.
If I was going to build a board and have the stage and the expressions on the board, build a separate board for just the expressions, or just tote all my expressions around.
And since your Helix LT journey was from the built-in expression pedal breaking, you now know external expression pedals are better in the longevity of those things. So,
well, and the cool thing is because right now I've got two different brands. I've got the Dunlop Volume Pedal X, and I've also got the was it Hot One Soul Press 2 or Hotone, however you want to pronounce it. So that's been pretty cool too. The Soul Press 2 is neat. Yeah, I was thinking about plugging it in and powering it so I could actually see the status LEDs, but I didn't even need to do that. Just plug in, good to go.
Nice.
So I've got to do some more programming, get everything exactly how I want it. But honestly, the fact that I was able to get it Friday night, I didn't even plug it in Friday night. I was out shopping most of Saturday, and then I came home, pretty much went to that preset. I was like, okay, yeah. I just had to learn where everything was whenever I was going to be playing, and it was good to go. So, I mean, yeah. Oh, that was my what's new. 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Scott, tell us your what's new.
Well, so I went on a guitar journey.
Yeah.
And was that a sigh, Rachel, or was that just like a satisfied slurp of your liquid death? Yeah.
It was a sigh, wasn't it?
It was a sigh.
Yeah.
So long story short, I went So I've not been happy with my Les Paul Tribute for a while. It just wasn't scratching my itch. That like I don't like picking it up and playing it. Like it just didn't feel right. It always felt a little clunky, but it always had the right kind of sound. Like I love a Les Paul's look. I love a Les Paul sound. I never found one that was right for me. And Philip's been on me about this one too, where he's like, dude, you need to find the right Gibson, not just a Gibson, right?
So yeah, I mean that's kind of like, especially with certain guitars, it's like, okay, not all of them feel great. Like almost any Strat I pick up will feel good to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like there's like a semi-hollow is one that for me, it has to feel right for me to like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, there's very consistent brands. Like, I can pick up it, I would say like PRS has a very consistent neck carve, but like, I think Gibson throughout its history, there's been a lot of different Gibsons,
Yeah.
And so, I went and I just played a bunch and went to a store here in Chicago with a few buddies, picked up a bunch and really found that it wasn't just a fluke that when I bought that ES in Nashville with you guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I picked up the Norlin era one and it was like, Philip was telling me this is like the redheaded stepchild of Gibsons. No one likes them, or they're not that popular for various reasons. And like they did all these things and purists hate them. And I'm like, oh, everything they did, I liked. Actually made the guitar work for me. And so, turns out I go in and play some Norlin era Les Pauls, same story. I like the maple necks. I like the carve during that era. I don't mind the weight. So I fell in love with one in the store.
Yeah.
And I went to ask him. I was like, "How much is it?" And he's like, $4,600. And I was like, "Nope." So I handed it back to him very nicely and said, "Thank you for your time." But then went looking like, all right, was that guy just out to lunch on price, or is that where these things are at, or do I, whatever? Right. And almost instantly stumbled upon one half that price. From that was a 79, so it's the same year as my ES, and so, yeah, that's the. So I wound up taking that home, which means I need to sell some stuff to replenish some bank accounts because I can't have more guitars.
Yeah, but it's a nice looking guitar. Anyways, yeah. So that's it. That's all you've gotten. I feel like it's been so long.
I mean,
more.
Actually, is it on the list? No, it's not on the list. There's another pedal I pre-ordered, but it won't be here for a while. Like this is the stage of gear I'm in, right? Like, it's like, all right, I'm subbing out like one of my good guitars with a great guitar, or I'm getting like the unobtainium stuff that I'm waiting months and months and months to get.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that was kind of like, all right, so I almost traded the MJT and the Silver Sky SE towards a Silver Sky Core. And
I don't know if you'll like that as much. We'll see.
It didn't happen, so it's not gonna. And I played the MJT in church yesterday, and I need to stop trying to get rid of it. I don't know why. I think that's the easiest out of. So the SGs never crossed my mind to get rid of. It's just it's not.
That is your guitar.
That it's not going anywhere. And then I've got the Tele, and that's not going to go anywhere. I really like that. And I saw that Silver Sky Core, and honestly, Andrew's the one that's like, well, I bet you they trade that for it. And I'm like, oh. And we talked, and it didn't happen. And I'm like, and I played the MJT yesterday, and I got home from church, and I told Lisa, I said, next time I talk about trading the MJT, remind me of this moment right here where I end up playing it and falling in love with it again. That's the guitar that I like.
Is it just you need to put new strings on it?
No, it doesn't even need new strings. Okay,
because like that's my thing is like some days like my Equits, I get to a spot where I'm like, I don't know if this is really. I started kind of like going, did I really make the perfect guitar for me? What did I do? Then I just put new strings on it, and I'm like, yep, yeah, I did right. That's
so yeah, it's kind of like that with MJT because like we talked about, I had that MJT made specifically for me.
Yeah,
like that was my custom order, and then I play it, and yeah, it sounded amazing yesterday, and it really does feel so comfortable. And honestly, and I know playing through the Kemper helped, because it was one of those things where I wasn't getting any sort of frustration with my tone, except for I do have a funny to tell you. So we're playing and we're going through rehearsal and we're doing What a Beautiful Name. And I'm playing and I'm so excited. I'm doing the Fix You solo. I'm doing I'm having fun. And my guitar sounds like shit. And I can't, I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like looking, my dumbass had the volume at half. The volume pedal was halfway down. So it sounded, I was like, oh, well, there it is. And I pushed it up and I was like, oh yeah, no, it sounds amazing. Never mind. But anywho, we need to go on to this gear news because this episode is getting long.
We need to push this also because I now have a girlfriend staring at me, get more and more impatient the longer this goes. So,
yes. All right. So, first thing on the list, Philosopher's Tone 2 with added grit. So, you've got a grit switch on there, but also you can change the voice between a germanium and a silicone. It's got a nice blend. So, if you haven't played a Philosopher's Tone, they're amazing little compressors.
And you can also find really good deals on them too.
Yeah, it's one of those. So, and Pigtronics is doing a revamp of their visuals. They've been doing that for a little bit of a while now. But the one I had a Philosopher's Tone Germanium, which was phenomenal. It was, I think, was it the gold one? The little mini pedal. Sounded amazing. It sounded great. So this is really cool. It's one thing I love is just the blend knob on it. But this is great. I know we're not gonna talk about long because it's nothing super new, but I think that Pigtronics is really moving in the right direction. I know there's some people who are upset with the new designs because they're more simple. They're not the Pigtronics goofy thing. But honestly, I think we're going to see.
Honestly, there's nothing wrong with modernizing a brand and unifying the look across your stuff. I mean, Pigtronics is a company that has made good stuff, but has been thought of as cheap for too long. I'm all for them, not really bait and switching people, just rebranding and getting the credit they deserve.
Right. I would love to see them not be the deal of the day brand, but it's an 18-volt pedal. So you got great headroom on it, and also because that was the thing, the gold one, the germanium, was really popular and it was limited edition, which I think they ended up having to sell them on Stupid Deal of the Day, but it's got both versions, so it's pretty cool. $100 or $200.
Not bad. I mean, especially in optical compressor world, that's pretty affordable. Let's move on. The quick hit, the Electro Harmonix has launched a limited edition Big Muff Pi in all gold, and they had 555 units and they sold out in 69 minutes.
Yeah, gold and all gone.
So I'm not going to bother with looking up what price they sold it at because now it's all if you want one, you got to find one on the resale market. So it's going to be ridiculous. Have fun if that's your thing. In other news, Vox has recreated or came back out with the Vox Wahs, which I believe was the first ever wah when they did the McCoy.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of funny because Vox used to make a McCoy in the 90s and stuff like that, and it wasn't selling that well. So it's funny how the demand has seemed to come back, and they've gone the premium route. So these are coming in around $350 to $415 if you want a fully chromed out one. So not cheap, but I mean, this is a vintage classic that I'm sure there are a number of people who really want to get in on.
Yeah. It'll be pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of these are going to be bought and collected and saved, but it's definitely pretty interesting. What is going on over there? All right, Scott, sorry. There's a cat getting into something. Hold on one second.
You have a cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Diaz had a cat.
I'm coming. Tell us about the KMA.
All right. Well, while Diaz is gone, Rachel, what do you think of this artwork?
I'm back.
It's a tree. Do you like it? Okay. Rachel doesn't like the artwork on the KMA Machines' Endgame, which has been heralded as their most ambitious device yet. She says she's a tough critic. So, and I would agree. It's a stereo pedal offering dual cab and power amp simulations with a stereo effects loop, and also has a doubler in it.
Oh my gosh,
pretty cool. I would call it. They're calling it the end game. It's really the end of the chain if you really think about it.
Into the chain gang.
Yeah. But dual IRs is a really cool feature, as is a stereo effects loop. So this could be a really cool, interesting thing for a lot of pedal boards.
Can you load IRs to it?
I believe you can.
If you can load IRs, 100%. If you can't, still great, but we'll see. Let's see. Dual IR cab. I need to learn how to read.
Also has a Bluetooth connection. Dual headphone outputs. USB port, software updates, and to load their own unique IRs.
Yeah, this is going to be the end game for a lot of people. Holy crap. Just
KMA has been killing it. Don't get me wrong, this is a chonky pedal.
It's tall.
It's a tall pedal.
It's tall. I like it though. It looks sturdy.
And it has dual XLR outs of it too, which is also pretty sweet.
So, all right. So, yeah, if it's got the XLR out, so stereo balance outputs. What do you think this? Oh man, this is like something I would almost expect from like Pinstripe, but this is.
I mean, it's adding some things. It's basically clobbing together about 2 or 3 or 4 different pedals.
Yeah, how much is it? This has got to be like $400.
It's 349 pounds, which probably gets us up into
450,
450-ish.
Yeah, worth it though. I would 100% say that's a great price. Being able to activate the effects loop with a foot switch, phenomenal. And
the doubler is a switch too, and everything else is just a control.
The doubler. This is
really cool. I mean, like this gets rid of a number of pedals. Frankly, this actually could probably allow people to consolidate their boards a lot too.
Oh yes.
And practice at home and all those great things. So, if this is, I wouldn't fault anybody for jumping all over this if this was the right spot for them. This
is going to be something I'll probably end up suggesting to people. Like if this is in their finance, this is something. Okay, so this is game changing. It really is. I think, like what it offers you is so much.
Yeah, you know who I would say this actually starts rivaling is some of the 2-note stuff.
Yeah,
I mean you don't get the 2-notes library, but you theoretically could.
I mean, yeah, you're just gonna load some stuff.
The fact that a lot of 2-notes stuff wasn't stereo. That the added stereo side of this, and plus you have a V30 greenback, creamback, just built in. They're never going anywhere, And then you can start loading up your user IRs as well. Like it. This has got a lot in it. I can't find a US price yet, but let's keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got to send a picture of a cat from Rachel. That's a fat cat.
Yeah, he says he saw your cat.
Isn't she cute?
Oh, that's Lucy.
I'll show Lucy the video of you.
I'll send her a picture of Anakin soon.
Okay.
All right. So let's keep moving. This is pretty cool. So Donner and Third Man Hardware teamed up. So we've got a Jack White signature. Well, it's not really Jack White signature, but you've got that Third Man Hardware launching a 3-in-1 with Donner. So I have a Donner pedal that's a 3-in-1.
Oh,
I've got the Alpha effects.
Oh.
I have it. I had it on my spaceship because had some delays, some reverbs, but also I had a reverse delay, which I didn't have anywhere, and it was just easy to access. It is solid quality. The Donner pedal I have, solid quality. Do not let it convince you that this is $100.
Yeah, I would say Donner has separated themselves from the concept of like the cheap Chinese pedals. Like
they've done a great job doing
and
that.
The Amazon pedals or whatever you want to call them now. I guess Temu pedals is the new.
I don't know.
Not endorsing Temu.
Calm
down, people. But so this has an echo, phaser, and distortion all in one.
Mm-hmm.
$100, Jack White-ish tones. Like
I don't know if yeah, that's the whole weird thing is it really gonna be Jack Whitish tones? Because I mean, but yeah, it's still like it's Jack White and it's endorsed by him. So it's like something that Jack White's one of those very eccentric people. He's not gonna put his name. He didn't put his name on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm gonna get one at some point. Honestly, just to have it. But yeah, very cool. If you haven't seen one, you really gotta check it out. It's got the yellow and black, same Third Man Hardware color scheme. So you can probably find it on Amazon anywhere. Well, did you just add this, or was that on there?
I'm just knocking some stuff off to keep us moving. And so the last thing to talk about, because I think we actually have something to talk about on this one.
We both, yeah.
Warm Audio has come out with 2 new pedals. And so you got the Warm Bender and the Ringer Bringer. And so you got Warm Audio's take on the original tone bender and a Moog ring modulator. And in Warm Audio fashion,
they look exactly like.
If I don't have my glasses on, I can't tell them apart.
Yes.
So, whether you take offense to that or not, I think we've talked our piece of, copying circuits or elaborating on circuits is encouraged in this industry, but man, they're stepping the line on trade dress copying, and so.
Well, but here's my question, but I think you've squashed that. Was like a lot of the stuff that they're doing the trade dress copying of is things that aren't being made anymore.
Not entirely true.
The
Zen Drive particularly is one that's the Zen Drive copy is like the Zen Drives are still like being made constantly.
Yeah, that's true.
And for cheaper than what Warm Audio is charging for them. So, but they're not in Guitar Center, and you can't just walk in and get a love pedal right now. So,
right.
Whereas like Moog is in restructuring because that company got bought, and they're moving production to China and all those kind of things. The OCD is back in production now that Jackson Audio has collaborated with Full Tone. So.
Yeah,
Full Tone has no favors earned, in the industry from us. But
listen, I'll say this much: I think no one in our little world of the gear world is going to say anything about their OCD, or COPD, whatever they call it. What do they call it?
ODD.
The ODD.
Yeah, oppositional defiance disorder, which is funny.
Come on, that's good. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's one of those things. So personal for me, I get it. I don't know how much it's upsetting me though. I feel very just about it.
People are buying this stuff. I think that's the thing to remember.
Mm-hmm. There's a Warm Audio Cincharo, whatever, at Guitar Center used yesterday or Saturday for $120.
Well, I would just say Warm Audio would not keep pushing into this if they were not selling.
True.
And the other reality is these pedals are being retailed through Guitar Centers and Sam Ash's and Sweetwater's,
Right.
And so Warm Audio has the big market distribution. Whereas, some of the little guys they're copying don't.
Yeah.
And so this is an example of, I don't know if Warm Audio is necessarily the big guy, but imagine if Boss came out with a Centaur in a Centaur box.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting.
Right? And I know a lot of people want a Centaur tone from a Boss in a Boss enclosure, but the Warm Audio is an established brand of size that can reel out this kind of stuff versus, let's bring Love Pedal back into the conversation. Because, Sean hasn't necessarily made all the friends in the world with his brand either, but it's like him and another guy. I think the other guy's part-time, building out of a house in Michigan. Yeah. So it's hard to fight with that.
Right.
Now, the other argument would be is if there's high-profile clones being made and put out there, theoretically that means Love Pedal has a justification to raise their prices and make more money. if there really is that real demand there, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think the big thing is this. So let's focus more on the Zen Drive. Talk about it, because hi Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth just got home. Everybody.
Yeah.
But I would say this because I was at a guitar shop Saturday and they had 2 of the warm audio ones there. They're easier, like the Zen Drives. Like you said, they're easier to access with the warm audio ones.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. I guess, like I said before in the chat, I don't feel strongly one way or another. I get both sides though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We sit there and kind of like JHS often builds a lot of pedals that are, if not directly from vintage circuits, are heavily inspired by, right?
Or they just redo the entire brand like Ross.
Yeah. But the other reality is these are a lot of pedals that you just can't get your hands on, or we're not sitting in the Guitar Center for the 15-year-olds to get their hands on.
Right.
And that's how a lot of pedals still get sold.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of, even if they don't buy them from Guitar Center, they go and play them at Guitar Center to hear them.
Yeah.
And see how they react. I've seen people bring almost their entire rig and like see how it sounds with their rig to Guitar Center because Guitar Center doesn't care. I mean, they're like, you're gonna go buy this somewhere else, aren't you? And you're like, yeah, what's up, bud? But
so
anyway,
so if you want a tone bender in what looks like an original enclosure for $200, you can check out the warm audio. If you want the sound of a tone bender for less, just go looking. There's tons of them.
Yes.
Now the Moog ring modulator, different story, but
if they did more of the Moog stuff in those boxes, I'd probably buy.
Well, I mean, didn't Behringer already do that too?
No, Behringer teased it but never released it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teasing, but finally releasing, Suzuki has re-released the Omni Accord for its 70th anniversary, and you can pre-order them now through places like Toman and whatnot. They're expensive.
If you want to do, if you want to play, what's the song? I got sunshine in my head.
Yep. Clint Eastwood by
Clint Eastwood. Yep. And also there's a picture of the Mars Volta with both of them holding omnicords.
Yeah. So you can go check that out. It's about $1,000.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
Not cheap at all. Anyways. All right. So let's go to this other thing.
Also not cheap.
No. Did you skip something, dude?
Did I?
Yep. Bowden Essentials launched. It's $999. Cheapest one yet. Cheapest Bowden yet.
Yeah. So it's actually Strandberg.
Oh, sorry.
The model's
Strandberg
called the Bowden
Essential. Sorry.
So if you've been trying to get your hands on Strandberg, we're finding their prices out of control. Now you can get into one for about $1,000.
I kind of want one. Andrew has a Strandberg. My buddy Andrew has a Strandberg, and I enjoyed it.
They're so comfortable, but at the same time, I just can't get over how they look. But
have you felt the necks?
Yeah, they're interesting.
It's interesting, but it works.
Oh yeah, super.
It's like
you were with me when we went and looked at one. We were at Eastside Music Company.
Oh, did I play it?
Philip and I did.
I didn't go with you and Philip to Eastside.
Oh,
did I?
I don't know.
No,
was that trip. I don't know if you were with us that day or not.
We went to Fanny's, and where's the other place where you got the guitar?
Caldwell.
I went with you to Fanny's and Caldwell.
Okay, so you missed the Eastside trip. That was Jake was there, but you weren't. Okay,
I wasn't there. But anyways, yeah.
So these are more affordable models. No fan frets. They're all single scale guitars, but and there's a lot of other compromises made to get the price down. In like the inlays and the detail work and all those kind of things, but you still get that core headless design with the micro tuners and the efficient body shape. They're due out in March, so if you really want one, I'd call your Sweetwater rep right now.
Yeah. There's a video with Tomo Funk doing it.
I love him. Yeah, they come in black granite, astro dust, and elemental blue satin.
I love the blue. Oh, that blue looks so good.
So,
Mm.
Proprietary humbucker, uncovered OEM humbucker pickup, volume tone, 5-way pickup switch. So you get the single coil tones.
I want a church one of these so bad. Oh man.
There are optional upgrades, including brass, steel, aluminum, and bronze saddles, because you can replace the parts on them. So it's not going to be a Squire situation. It sounds like where they're going to change the dimensions on the hardware. Everything will be still there. So pretty cool. I think those will sell like crazy, to be honest with you. At that price point,
I'm probably going to end up with the blue one.
Yeah,
like that. That's probably going to be my next guitar. Like I've got everything covered. I don't have headless fun. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to send a picture to Elise. That's all right. We'll keep moving. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. All right. So, yeah.
There's a new Wolfgang EVH for Eddie's birthday. Some new finishes. Definitely coming in around the $1,800 to $1,900 price point.
It's something that he's never played. It's actually.
I think they're better looking, honestly, than a lot of other Wolfgangs I've seen.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I mean the burst hollow body. It's interesting enough for people to get into it.
I dig it. It shreds though. That's the thing. This thing shreds.
So
have you watched Wolfgang play one?
Oh yeah, he's a monster.
You know what? I don't listen to Mammoth or anything like that. I need to but I love watching him play. It's so interesting because it's almost like what I mean. Come on, he's got that Eddie in him, and he plays. He can play his dad's stuff like no other. But like to see him, and then when he starts playing his stuff, it's really awesome because you hear that little bit of influence. But yeah, he's an amazing guitar player.
Nice.
Sorry,
well,
I just got to gush over him for a little bit.
While we're on our signature guitars kick, Reverend has a new Billy Corgan model called the Drop Z. It's an dropped tuned riff machine that comes in at 26.22 inches scale. So slightly longer scale, 24 frets. It's got the rail hammer pickup still. So it's kind of a baritone, but not quite. Comes in white and high tide blue.
I like the pickup cover designs.
Yeah, there's now an engraving on the pickup covers instead of the old rail hammer look, which I think it helps. It helps.
It does help. Yeah, it's interesting. I
didn't see a price on it yet, though.
Yeah, Billy Corgan's one of those though, where it's like, I just want you to play a Strat, please.
Strat with rail hammers in it.
Here's Strat with rail hammers, please. I remember whenever
or hot rails.
Yeah, it's a hot rail. So when Best Buy had like guitars and stuff that had the whole music centers, whenever the Best Buy in Knoxville was going, whenever they were getting rid of all their music stuff and they were doing clear out deals, they had one of the last guitars they had was a Billy Corgan signature Strat. And oh man, it was a lot of fun to play. I just don't know how amazing it is. But,
while we're talking about souped up Strats, Godin has come out with an Alex Lifeson Limelight signature model.
Yes. So the big thing, all right, so Scott wanted to cut this, but first of all,
I really wanted to cut it, but especially given its price.
I love Alex Lifeson. I love this because it looks just like the guitar he used in the Limelight for Limelight, and then hence the name. And Limelight's my favorite song by Rush. But anyways, yeah, the price on it is kind of crazy. It's
$4,000 for Godin Fat Strat. It's gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah, this is for the Rush fanatic. It really is.
I mean, there's a model that comes with the Floyd Rose. There's also a model that comes with a Vega Trem with locking tuners.
But so, yeah, is this? I'm trying to think.
Pickup selector is in an interesting spot.
Let's see. So
also,
here's the thing, though. It's not just a Godin guitar, right?
Did you look at where the input jack is?
I didn't
it's
see
flipped.
It. Oh, it's an outside one? They did
No,
it.
no. It's like it's an inside one. It's just flipped, isn't it? Or is it? Is it an outside one? Am I just looking at it wrong?
You mean you're talking about just the where the casing is inverted, right?
I can't tell.
The hardware.
I can't tell. Is it just turned 180 degrees or is it inside out?
Oh, maybe he does it.
I need to see a different angle on the guitar because I can only see a front side on it.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's inside out. I think it's just turned 180 degrees. He might be able to use a right angle easier. I don't know.
Oh,
that's weird.
Here's some alternate views of it. It is an inside out one. So it is it's protruding from the guitar.
Okay, so it's protruding out and
180 degree flip.
Is it a 180 degree flip or just protruding? All right, anyways.
Anyway, let's keep moving here because we're running out of time.
Yeah, all right. All right, Manson's new Matt Bellamy Geo Mask guitar is expensive as shit too.
Yep, and it's to look like if you haven't seen their new their tour, they're wearing this mask for the Will of the People tour. So it's like looking like this mask that they have. It's kind of this faceted top. It's interesting. Yeah. It's just I don't know how many people are really going to be after this.
Oh, they sold out.
Well, and they only made 10 of them, so that's why.
Yeah, 10 people bought them. Anyways, okay. Whew. Now we're moving into.
Okay, so Gibson has come out with a new Les Paul Studio, now called the Les Paul Studio Modern Studio, hitting the $2,000 price point.
Fuck me.
Contoured heel, burst finishes. What else is new here?
Why the fuck is a Les Paul Studio $2,000 fucking dollars?
Okay, first of all, Rachel says language.
Oh, I didn't know she could still hear me.
Yeah, she still can.
Let's turn that off.
It's got a weight relieved body, slim taper neck.
1 second. Can she still hear me?
Yes.
Rachel, a Les Paul Studio used to be like $700.
Used prices were.
Well, yeah, but
$2,000. Yeah. It's got the 498T and 490R humbuckers in it. Grover Rotomatics. I don't really see what makes this terribly modern.
The price?
Maybe. But I mean, also remember, we're now entering the age of the $1,500 Epiphone. Particularly with the Dave Grohl that's coming out eventually here, which also, if you're wanting to grab one of those, call your Sweetwater rep now. With the Adam Jones ones getting up in that price. So I think what you're going to see is Les Paul Studio has to get more premium. That's one of the guitars that definitely has to move up. And this is what Gibson's going to try to do.
Well, I won't stand for it.
Yeah.
I'll sit for it.
Because I want to say the regular studios were something like 18, and then the satin ones were dropping below that. So.
Didn't the studios new used to be like 1,200, 1,300?
I think they were 1,200 back in the day, but remember, we also remember
I know
Les Paul standard was $1,600. So
I know that's why
those are $3,000.
So it's $1,000 off the Les Paul Modern is all that it is. It's just
I think that's where it's going to hang. It's always going to be a slightly cheaper version of the Les Paul Standard. That's what it's always going to track what the Les Paul Standard is doing.
Yeah, it just still makes me upset. I guess I'm going to shake at the clouds. Anyways,
while we're in the Gibson lineups, they came out with ebony versions of 4 of its acoustics, so they're all black models with like a Les Paul custom headstock logo on them. So if you were looking for an all black acoustic guitar to do your Johnny Cash or whatever you want to do,
what's the fretboard?
They're not cheap.
What's the fretboard made of?
I believe it's ebony.
Okay, I was looking for it. I didn't see it. I assumed like that would make sense to me, like ebony everything. So I was just curious.
Yeah, and these also come with LR bags pickups already in them. But I mean, we're looking at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for these things. So
I mean, they're gorgeous guitars. No, I ain't spend that much on it, but like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, they are ebony fingerboards.
I think it's funny that Gibson's the one guitar brand that can paint something black and then charge more for it, whereas every other guitar, the black version's the cheaper version because they didn't have to use as nice of woods.
Okay, that makes sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
because black covers it everything.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But you know what doesn't cover everything is Silverburst, which is what the Adam Jones 1979 Les Paul Custom and the Epiphone style hat is coming out with. So we got the Gibson style headstock, you got the proper pickups for the Adam Jones, and you don't have a piece of art on the back that makes it limited edition anymore.
Yes. So this is awesome because this is going to be a line. It's not going to be limited edition.
Yeah, it's $1,300 at Sweetwater right now,
which is a great. I'm sorry, like these Les Pauls that Epiphone's putting out are just phenomenal. They really are. Like a lot of them, like my cheap little Jerry Cantrell one is an amazing guitar.
Okay, so I messed up. I'm actually looking at, when I said $1,300, I might mean $1,400.
Or I thought it was $13.99 or $14.99.
Yeah, it's $14.99 to have the one with the actual proper Gibson headstock on it. Whereas the special art ones were the Epiphone open book headstock.
Mm-hmm.
So
were they?
They're available for pre-order over on everything right now.
Wait. I thought that the other ones had the same headstock.
No, the other ones have the Epiphone headstock. The ones with the artwork do.
I need to look because it's throwing me off.
It also just shows you the value of branding. That just a slightly different headstock shape that has no effect on how the guitar plays or sounds is going to jack up the price on those things. Now, speaking of things that don't affect the sound or how it plays, but affects the price, Fender is coming out with the Tiger's Eye finish exclusive to Guitar Center. So these are on the American Ultras. If you want a super flamed top, which is probably a veneer, it's definitely a veneer, on any normal Fender, go check those out. Guitar Center only.
Ooh.
And the last thing to talk about before we wrap it up is Creation Music Company has finally come out with their V3 version of the elevation boards. Now, Diaz and I both have elevation boards, or previous elevation boards from Creation. We love them. The V3 changes some of the looks around, some of the hardware, still has the wood sides, keeps the price really actually affordable. Changes the way the logos work, and now the accessories that are available for them are actually enhanced. The hole is bigger. So you can now do D-mounts. You can do all sorts of different things on this platform. It's really expanded. So Creation Music Company, past sponsor of our show. And we endorse their products. We use them.
Listen, Creation's amazing company. Yeah, so I whenever I was doing the Quad Cortex, I was pulling out my Elevation V2 and I was going to get I was going to put the Quad Cortex on the board and all that. And the foam was like falling out of my flight case for my V2. And so I just called him. I was like, hey, what should I use? And I talked to John's dad. He answered the phone. I usually email and something. I was like, I'm just going to call and see who answers. And his dad answered the phone. He was like, yeah, this is what we use. He's like, you might not be able to find it, but this is pretty comparable. He's like, whenever we run out or we can't find it, we use this instead and you can find it at your local shop. I was like, well, hot dang, thanks. Nice. And that was it. Like, really, John Snyder has always been a great guy who's always made great products and has stood behind them. And that's one thing I've got to say about him. I've never seen him make a shoddy product. And if anyone's ever had any problem with the product, he's been on it.
Well, so the other fun thing about, Creation to include and think about is they have their own version of a mini pancake that actually fits stereo pedals.
Yeah,
called the mini cake. And so some of the cleanest setups I've ever seen are with his mini cakes. That's another cool product to check out. And I mean, not to brag, but I knew about this product for about a year now. And so when he was in town, him and I grabbed a beer and he showed off some of the stuff. And I've been really wanting to see it actually in the field. So
I mean, I was
just hitting stores and getting out there.
I mean, I might want to just message him and say, hey, what would you do if you needed 3 expression pedals and you needed to put them somewhere?
Doesn't he have his own pedal board builder app?
Mm-hmm.
So go play around on that.
I can't right now because I can't afford it. That's where we're at. I don't know if I can afford it. And
I get it.
Right now, they've got a special on their V3s. 15% off on the website. So
check them out. Nice also, their Velcro, whatever they use in that product, I have never found it anywhere else. Their Velcro is insane.
Oh my gosh.
So this is genuine endorsements. We're not paid for this.
No, not even paid for it. But like literally creation, I've owned two of their boards.
Tiaz, you killed my segue into our Patreon plug.
Hey, look, a distraction.
Hey, if you want to pay for things though, you can join our Patreon.
Yeah.
How can you do that, Tiaz?
Well, if you just go to patreon.com/theeffectsloop, that's the podcast you've been listening to. And you can sign up there. And it gives us a nice little email that says, this person really likes you guys. And we're like, aw. That's pretty much how that goes. And then you get access to our pre-ep. You get to learn actually quite a lot about us because our pre-eps are filled with a lot of us just talking about life in general, just catching up. Like this morning, like this one was us catching up because we haven't talked in a little bit because life is amazing. And then what other cool stuff? You get in our chat group if you want. If you don't, you can take yourself out. But that honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do is to go into the chat room and get a good mind's hive, and sometimes just being stupid. And then what else is there? You get our deepest appreciation and gratitude. But if you don't want to support us, that's fine too. Just keep listening because it makes us happy. And that's why we do this, is because it makes us happy. But you can go to theeffectsloop.com. And that has links to all of our other stuff you can enjoy for the show. That's our Facebook group. Hi, Sarah Beth. That's our Facebook group. If you want to get merch, it's got our Instagram and all the other stuff. I forgot. It's been a while since I've done this. I know there's a list at the bottom, but I really don't care anymore. But also, big thank you to everyone who supported the show, and also Electromotive Sound Co. for supporting the show. Is there anything I'm missing, Scott?
No, that's everything.
I'm a little rusty, but we're going to do this. So if you're listening this far, thank you for listening. Sorry we haven't been putting out content as regular. We've been just trying to enjoy our lives and make this where it's not a stressful thing. So when we get together, we can enjoy it and have a great time. We will be putting out some more content soon, and we hope to talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Sarah Beth.
All right, buddy. I'm going to go.
All right, man. Have fun.
See ya.
See ya.
We are strong. We have to just keep pushing along. We are one.
dictionary. Why is negativity always drawn out? Picture every visualized love. Energized lives together. We undefeated. A plan to make where there's no gloves needed. When we weed into the mindset of achieving and believing in community that remains happy. Ever after, the world should be one. Hate annihilated, every heart is one. Love again. So
don't buy